We got all avenues covered here at Leafs Morning Take, and we go now to Canadian Tire Center. Jackie Redmond on location. Jackie, we were just discussing, and thank you for doing this. We were discussing the last time, if you recall,
It's the
there are the
boys
players
for
on the
you.
ice.
Nice.
What can you tell us about the morning skate, firstly?
I mean, pretty standard morning skate, I'm not going to lie. I will say, while the Leafs were all stretching at center ice, Willie Nylander was practicing one-timers, so take that for what it is. But no, pretty standard morning skate for both teams, I would say. And a lot of talk about pressure, but that's not a surprise to anybody.
Jackie, we had you on earlier in the season. I can't even remember what was going on, but you took it as an opportunity to vent, and you kind of unloaded the tank, which we do all the time at different periods. What was your vibe after that Game 5 game? Were you melting down, or did you keep things in perspective?
Well, I know you guys just had Biz on the show, and I wasn't like full-blown Biz nasty meltdown. Although I think he's pretty calm. How was he for you guys?
He's got his head on. He's got his head on straight.
Yeah.
He knows what they have to do. It's not over. He's not melting down. I don't think he will, but he's keeping things in perspective, I would say.
Yeah, so I think at this point I'm probably on the same page, but I think in the moment I was like a lot of people. It's not that they lost Game 5. It is the fashion in which they lost Game 5, because what they've now done for the Ottawa Senators is shown them that not only can they win a game against the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs, they can do it on the road, and they can do it in dominant fashion. Like, what area of the game can the Leafs walk away from and say that they excelled in Game 5? Like, I don't think that there's really one area. So for me, it's like, you don't just give the Sens belief, you give them confidence. And those are two different things. Believing you can come back is one thing. Everyone believes they can come back. Rosie, you know that. Like, and no guy in an NHL locker room is going to say, I don't believe we can come back. But not every room has the confidence that they can come back. And I think there's a huge difference. And I think after seeing Brady Tkachuk today, that's a man that has confidence that they can win tonight. And a lot of it. You know, he was asked point blank about pressure for them, for the Ottawa Senators. He's like, I mean, well, our season, is on the line. We either win or we go home, but I don't think there's pressure here. Like, there's pressure over there. I don't think there's pressure here. So, I think he caught himself in that moment. Like, oh, I'm not in that room. But he did say, he's like, I think the pressure's over there. So that's a dangerous space for the Leafs because of their history.
Yeah, I mean, there's a shit ton of pressure. I love the value of it being Willie Nylander's 29th birthday, and with that in mind, I think I'm so tired, Jackie, of talking about how these guys are young. They're not young anymore. Like, I'm sorry, Willie, you're almost 30. I mean, that's a barrier age in this league, and the other side of that's not as pleasant as the other side of it. So, like, for me, and I know there's going to be deflection from Craig Berube, but for me, it's pretty simple. Core 4, play better. You're winning this hockey game.
Well, yeah, I think, it's all the same things we're always going to hear from the Leafs, from their core players, from the coach, right? Like, it's cliche for a reason. It's pretty standard. I think they know what they have to do. But, Darren Pang got a great quote from David Perron today, who has played over 100 games in the playoffs. And I think it goes to kind of what I was saying about confidence and belief for the Senators. He said, you haven't played in the NHL until you've played in the playoffs. And you haven't really played in the playoffs until you've won a game. And the Senators it took them a little bit, right? Like, the first game was not good for Ottawa, but now they've not just won one game, they've won two. They are learning through this process what it takes to win. And one of the stats that really stands out for me for this series is the Sens, in terms of rebound chances against, they're second best in the playoffs. Like, they are not letting the Leafs get second chance opportunities in front of the net. I'm waiting on the specific numbers from Game 5. But that's an area that kind of tells you the Sens are boxing out. They're taking care of the front of their net, which is going to help their goaltender and make things hard for. It's got quiet in practice, and now I'm scared they can hear me. but yeah. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a number for me that, like, the Leafs need to do something about that number. Because you can have all the skill in the world in the playoffs. If you can't get to rebounds and you can't get second chance opportunities, you're going to have a really hard time scoring goals.
It's a battle factor, Jackie, battle factor in the playoffs. We know what needs to happen. Who do you think pops off tonight if they get this done? Who do you think's the guy who's going to make a difference here?
For the Leafs, I think because of how the last game went, it's got to be 34. It's got to be Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews needs to come into this game and he needs to put the team on his back and have shifts like we saw from Connor McDavid against the LA Kings, who literally could have swept the Oilers. And the Kings they did some things to get in their own way, let's be real. But Connor McDavid was absolutely flying in those games in Edmonton and then the game 5 in LA as well. So I think it's Austin Matthews. I think he had a poor performance in the last game. I think he knows that. I think it was an uncharacteristic performance. It wasn't just that he wasn't providing the offense. It's that he was causing some of the offense the other way. So for me, it's Austin Matthews. And I do actually think Austin Matthews is going to have a big game tonight, win or lose for the Leafs. I really do. Because he's used to the pressure and he's used to the criticism of the Leafs not getting it done. But it's not often that Austin Matthews' game is getting, I think, more criticized than Mitch Marner's game was in game 5. Like, that's not usually the way it goes, right? Like, Matthews, I think, avoids a lot of that in terms of just individual performance. Don't you? Do you agree? Or do I have a bad read on that?
No, I think that's fair. And I just think you look at the numbers, they speak for themselves. He's got 2 goals in the last 15 playoff games. And we're talking about a guy who scored 69 times last year. It's been such a struggle. And it's just crazy for us that you're up 3-1 in the series. And then you get to game 5 and you remember, oh no, it's a potential closeout game. And you can't do anything. Like, I know Allmark was good the other night, but we were talking about it. You surrender 17 shots on goal. You should win that hockey game, Jackie.
Yeah, you should. But that's hockey, baby, as they say. That's not the way it always goes, you know? The best team doesn't always win. And I think, you know, I hate talking about compete level because I know all these guys want to win. But I think that the Ottawa Senators have shown a lot of fight and a lot of passion, right? Like, they could have given up so easily. Like, they had every excuse in the book to be like, oh, you know, we don't have that much experience, we don't have this, we don't have that, they've got this, they've got all that, and they showed a lot of fight, right? And I think the reason that Toronto as a city had a complete meltdown after the last game is because I think they felt like there was a lack of that push, a lack of that fight, a lack of that like heart and passion, right? Like, kind of a joke, like Leafs fans are always saying, like, where's the passion, and I think that has as much to do with the fan base melting down despite their team being up in the series 3-2 as anything else that's happened on the ice. And for Sens, you know, like, their fan base is alive. This city is alive right now. This city believes that this team has maybe caught something, that they can actually do this. And I don't think it's just because of the perception of Toronto in these series clinching games. I think it's also because they just watch their boys go out there and actually fight for it and actually say, like, you know what, we're down 3-0, we might get swept, we're down 3-1, we might go out in game 5, but we're going to go down fighting like hell. And they did that. And so when you have a team in front of you that's exhibiting those traits, I think it creates a certain atmosphere. I'll be curious to see what the building is like tonight in Ottawa. I think, Rosie, I don't know how you feel, but I do think atmosphere matters. I think fans matter, especially when you're at home and you're down in a series. So we'll see, because I think it could affect both teams if this building is on fire and is loud. I think that could be really great for the Sens. And because the Leafs, until they prove they're not fragile, they're fragile. So I think a loud building could be tough for Toronto. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
it's they're gonna have
if
to.
If I'm a Sens fan tonight, I'm doing what Kings fans have done to Darnell Nurse for 4 years. Like, I'm gonna chant like Nylander, Marner. Like, if they start doing that early on, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if the Leafs can prove us all wrong.
Well, we're gonna find out tonight, Jackie. What's your prediction on Game 6?
I really hope I don't live to regret this, but I'm going to say that the Leafs are going to show us that they are capable of having some killer instinct and getting it done. I think the Leafs are going to win a close one, maybe 3-2 in regulation, though.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't think
Biz
OT.
said 5-2. Biz said 5-2.
5-2 Leafs.
Yeah.
Wow, he thinks they're going to come out and really make a statement, huh?
Yeah.
I
it's-
don't know.
4-2 empty netter. I agree. It's going to be the same game. Empty netter.
I
4-2
want a
empty
slap shot empty netter to win this series for the Maple Leafs. Pop
Okay,
cheese in that building, please.
Listen, a 4-2 empty net victory, that seems more likely than, I don't know. I just think the Sens have gained too much the last 2 games, I think, to go down in like a blowout performance or something. I don't know. We'll see, especially like their goaltender, right? Like what version of him are we going to get in this game? You know, I think game 1, like, is that sort of just a whatever? He wasn't ready. I don't know. We'll see.
We're going to find
All
out.
right, Jackie. Thank you so much. You're there on location. Have a great call tonight, okay?
Do I look as tired as I feel?
You
No,
look
you
great,
look
Jack.
sharp.
You look great.
Okay. Running on fumes, boys. See you later.
Take care. Thank you again. Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Roseau. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.